I recently spent a few days away staying by a large lake. One morning I woke early and decided to eat my breakfast outside and watch the sunrise over the water. As I sat there with my bowl of cereals, I watched birds hurriedly pecking at the damp grass where the morning dew had burned away the moisture, and the birds were pecking with intent and urgency, extracting worms, feasting on their breakfast while I ate my bowl of cereals. The bird searched with such intent and urgency, moving blades of grass, and it was working. He was being rewarded. Frequently I saw the bird stop and tilt his head back and swallow another worm. As I observed what's a fairly common sight, I muttered a phrase to myself that I'd heard many times, a statement that's often used to install a healthy work ethic. The early bird gets the worm. This is a saying that's so popular, so common, most of us simply nod and acknowledge its timeless wisdom and move on. But what if we've got it wrong? What if we've misread the situation, misinterpreted what we've seen? What if the early bird doesn't get the worm? Consider this. Earthworms live in the soil. It's their home. The bird didn't create the worms. The worms are already there. After rain or when the grass is wet with dew, worms can't breathe, so they come to the surface. The bird didn't create the worm. The bird didn't cause the worm to rise to the surface of the soil. The bird just turned up at the right time and in some way collected what was lying, waiting for him. For the bird, the worm is a gift. We are all prone to taking ourselves too seriously at times, believing that any success we enjoy is because of our own talents, efforts, or hard work. In casting ourselves as the proverbial early bird, we can believe that we deserve every good thing that comes our way. In the Bible, Jesus told a story about a son who went off the rails. He took the money and the opportunities afforded him by his father and squandered them. He lost everything. Eventually, it says that he came to his senses and he decided that he was going to go home to apologize and to present the idea to his father that could I be hired as a servant. He knew that he'd lost his share of the family estate, and the shame and the disgrace meant he could never return to the status of a son. So the idea was presented, could I be a servant? He rehearses his lines and he begins the long journey home. I imagine the son walking slowly, kicking his heels as he went, feeling both the emotion of regret and uncertainty at how his apology and his idea might be received. And then there's a shift in the story, a turn of events. It says, the father saw him while he was still a long way off and was filled with compassion for him. It says that the father ran to the son and hugged him and embraced him, kissed him and forgave him. A remarkable turn of events, a moment of healing and forgiveness and acceptance. The son is offered a gift. It wasn't deserved, it wasn't expected, and it wasn't in response to the offer of becoming a servant. It was a gift. Like the bird eating the worms, the son's role was fairly simple. Just turn up And unlike the bird opportunistically waiting for the right conditions, we can return anytime. We, like the Son, only have one part to play, only one response or action needed. Come home to God, the good Father, and receive the gift.